Jojo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Many asked me for it in the comments, and today we're going for the review. This is a remaster of the original game developed by CyberConnect 2 in 2013, and now it comes with its beautiful visuals once again to our consoles, even though it came out in 2022. Welcome to All-Star Battle R. Believe it or not, I really wanted to do this video, and with your support I know that we can bring more similar content. This is another of the star games in the world of anime and it couldn't be missed. My social networks will be appearing on the screen, so you can go and follow me if you want to. And with that said, let's see what this game has to offer. To start with this review, I wanted to make it clear that Jojo's Bizarre Adventure is an anime that I had a lot of expectations about. Many recommended it to me, but I never had the will to sit down and actually watch it. Finally, when I did it approximately a month ago, I loved it. It's unusual that a shonen story thrilled me that much at first sight. I ended up watching all the material available in English, at least to date, in less than 3 weeks, and in part that gave me free way to review this game. The characters present in these stories are charismatic, explosive and full of life. All-Star Battle being a fighting game with so much depth in the mechanics rooted in fighting style and personality of each character, it couldn't be missed from being reviewed on the channel. Something is very important to keep in mind when starting this game, even before buying it, and is that it doesn't have a story mode as such. The game modes it offers are aimed at emphasizing the All-Star Battle combat system, which is very good. We'll get into that soon. Therefore, as far as the single-player experience is concerned, you'll find more difficult challenges and more extravagant rewards as you spend time fighting. This is great for exploring the capabilities this game offers for the fighting genre. A very conservative gameplay style in its camera angle, the perspective is the classic one-on-one fighting games, only here you will have your respective partner. Watching the gameplay firsthand, many references may come to your mind. Tekken, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. This is a game that rewards the practice and perfecting your combos, but hey, it doesn't leave aside the show. For a casual player, it's still accessible while they get used to the nature of the game. That is why auto combos were added, which also they are named in a different way. Represent a combo that implies considerable damage with the repetition of a single button. It's easy to learn how to play at that pace. However, the game starts in a bit of a rushed way. There's something called FTUE, First Time User Experience, which means that the game must teach the player in the first minutes of the game the basic controls and mechanics so that the game is enjoyable, so that it's not a trial and error formula that is dangerous, making many users frustrated in the first minutes that they run the game. Remember that the first impression is very important, especially for those who bought the game without knowing anything about Jojo's and are looking for a fun fighting game. All-Star Battle R is pretty fun without doubt, but the first section could have been handled better. They throw you out without context to fight with only a text that tells you in one time all the features of the game. This game has an enormous depth in its mechanics. It cannot be summarized in a couple of slides and images. You should experience progressively and get used to it. However, they didn't think of it that way. The beginning is a bit rushed. If you're tired of games being too expensive, at Instant Gaming you can buy all the games you want at an incredible price. You even have the option to get pre-orders and gift cards with a big discount. I've been using it for several years now, and here are my latest purchases to show you guys that is completely legit. Cheap, fast and safe. You can check it out in the link I leave you in the description down below. That would be a huge support for the channel. Let's get back to the video. But when the good things start, they start very strong. The gameplay in Jojo's All-Star Battle is very entertaining and prone to be in a cycle of repetition. Each character is handled in an extremely unique way. No one has combos that are completely universal in the roster. Each battle is a different story. This is what a fighting game should offer in its most beautiful sense. Here you have long-range attacks, melee combos, stand combos, unique special moves for each fighter, and very attackable ultimates states that can only be as colorful and frenzy as a Jojo's attack can represent. You'll have a pretty good time playing with this game, and honestly the graphic improvement with respect to its original version on PS3 is notable, in addition to the fact that they didn't limit themselves to making advancements in the graphic engine, but they also bothered to polish a combat system that had a lot of potential. The lore of the game is on another level. The references given in dramatic endings and unique interactions depending on the characters are incredible additions. In the single player game modes, we have as a cover the All-Star Battle mode, where they present us a series of canonical fights by panels. There's no dialogue or cinematics, simply fight sequences. However, each fight section is divided into each part of the Jojo series: Phantom Blood, Battle Tendency, Stardust Crusaders, and so on. Each time a certain number of normal fight panels are completed, the boss panel will be unlocked. Section that I thought would have some unique additional mechanics, some cinematics, some special interaction, something that would make it feel like the climax of each part. But nothing appeared. It was simply the repetition of the combat, and that's it, in the same stage. All the other sections are executed in the same way, so the diversity lies in how many characters you have the ability to use through each part. That's why I reiterate, the story mode doesn't really exist. The greatest strength of this game is its excellent mechanical execution as a fighting game, beyond having a memorable soundtrack with melodies rooted to those of the show and that generates a very recognizable atmosphere, or having a difficulty handled correctly in accordance with the player's skill, obviating the aspect of support effects. JoJo's All-Star Battle R is a pure arcade fighting game with great replayability thanks to the depth of its characters and its combos. Attacks, transformations, types of assists, and ultimates are a spectacular section in this game. I haven't seen so much in a long time variety in just one fighting game, and of course, JoJo's, within the many things it can boast, its roster of characters is probably the most memorable. 51 characters at launch. Unlike many who have already played this title, I saw JoJo's recently. I watched the story at a very late age. I didn't grow up with these games or series, and thus I predicted that I wouldn't be able to depend on the same nostalgic strings that the Mortal Kombat or Naruto games gave me, for example, and even so, it wasn't necessary for me to fall in love with its characters, with this game ideology that they present to us, because many times I have seen myself in the situation where I'm editing the video and I try to show as much material related to the character's moveset as possible, and many times the duration of the video or the editing itself doesn't allow me to do so. With this game, that feeling has been stronger than ever. Luckily, the game, depending so much on its replayability, the online mode is where you can feel the most refuged if you are going to play long term. But it comes with its cons. As a multiplayer experience, JoJo's All-Star Battle R is very good on one extreme and very weak on the other. Let me explain. The online game lobby allows you to play both casual player matches and ranked matches. Everything is handled in the old CyberConnect style with player cards and the rank you're in. As usual, there's no game mode where we can gather a group of friends and play in the same lobby, and there's no spectator mode either. However, there's something they definitely did well, thanks to the online missions. These are objectives that can be given to you either daily or weekly, in which you must use a character a certain number of times or hit a specific type of attack, and this encourages players to vary and try all the possible characters in this huge roster that the game has, all thanks to the fact that these missions have new skins for the characters as a reward, something that current players are always looking for. This is one of the reasons why Naruto Storm 4 was dying with its active community little by little. They seem to show zero interest in giving extra content, not only with additional payments but with missions, something that would give players an incentive to come back to the game, and I hope that this added as such an early time in JoJo's is a demonstration that they learned from their mistakes. Unfortunately, the online section has many matchmaking errors. There's no rematch option in ranked matches. The game doesn't specifically tell you if the connection is stable between cable or Wi-Fi before starting during a fight. I encountered several disconnection errors before the matches started, and even when playing with people from my same region. Unless you're playing with someone in the same city, the experience is terrible, and I think it's a shame because this game has huge potential, so many characters, so many options, and then they didn't put the necessary effort into the most important section to maintain their community alive, the online. Finally, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R is a game that entertained me quite a lot in its single-player modes. It offers a lot of depth in its gameplay and gives free rein for the most experienced in fighting games to take advantage of the thousands of options this roster has. The characters are excellently represented, they are full of life. It's impressive how they make the impossible possible, like when we see Dio stopping time in the middle of a fight, or how Iggy is a fully playable character despite being a small puppy. I just hope and aspire that all that potential doesn't get stuck in an unfortunate online mode that is so purely maintained. I really hope for the best, because I will always want to come back. And as always, thank you very much for watching, guys. That was all for today, and I'll be watching you in the next video. Take care and see ya.